For some added control, you can right click on a value and click on edit value, and then that brings this up where you can basically use these drop down menus to scale. I don't really use this too much. I feel like you can do almost the same thing in the twirl down menu here. So that's just another way. If you're more comfortable that way, then be my guest and use it that way. And one last way to precisely increase or decrease your scale, if you click on your object and hold Control on Windows and Command on a Mac and press the plus key, it will increase by 1%. Same if you press Control and the minus key, you'll go down by 1%. So those are the ways that you can easily scale. Those are all the ways that I know, and they work really well. Just remember that the hotkey for scale is S, and that'll help out a lot so you don't have to go twirling down all the time. And now animating with scale is pretty much the same as animating with position or opacity. So you click on the stopwatch here, and then I'll move to about 1 second. I got it right on 1 second. Awesome. And just say we increase the scale to 150. Move to 2 seconds here, somewhere around 2 seconds, and then we can decrease it back to, let's go to 50. Great. And now you can see that it scales correct. It'll just scale up and down just like animating anything else. It's pretty easy. Now you can also go into the negatives in your scale. So let's go over to this one where we went to negative, and I'll hit K, or I'll move my current time indicator and hold Shift to snap onto the keyframe. You know it's on the keyframe when this over here is highlighted. So let me move one frame off. Look, it's not highlighted anymore. Using page up and page down to move by one frame. So now I'm on the correct frame, and let's go to -50 and watch what happens. Now it'll flip and rotate. So you can see that. It goes down to nothing, and then flips on both axes. Flips on the X and Y. So it's facing the other way and upside down, as you can see. So still delete those keyframes. If you want to reset your scale back to 100% without typing in that 100%, let's change this down to 50 real quick. And it's not at 100%. You can go up to the Tools panel and make sure your object is selected. Go up to the Tools panel and double click on the arrow, and it'll reset it back to 100%. And those are the basics of scaling. Scaling isn't really too hard. It's good for, remember, it's good to flip on the axis when you go into negatives, and just to make your image bigger or smaller. And also remember that most of the time you don't want to individually change one of the axis points. You want to strain it proportionally. So none of this. Sure, if you squeeze the Pepsi logo or the New Boston logo to like this, the client won't be too happy. So always hold Shift, and then you can scale proportionally. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. I look forward to seeing you guys at the next one, and have a good one. Hey everybody, what's going on? And you're listening to another Adobe After Effects CS6 tutorial. And so this time around we're going to be learning about rotation and animating rotation. It's pretty simple, and there's a few ways to do it, so let's get on with the tutorial. Alright, the first and easiest way to rotate is to use the twirl down menu in the transformation menu down here in your layers in your timeline panel, and that's the most precise and easiest way. So the way you can get down to it is twirl down your transform menu to the rotation section, or press R. There you go, R. So that's easy enough. You've got your degrees here, how much you want to rotate, so I can type it in, 90, and it'll rotate 90 degrees. You can drag, and it'll go around like this, obviously. And of course you can hold shift and drag, and it'll go faster. Let's set these back at 0 real quick. Now, if you rotate past 360 here, it'll you can see that it turned this side over here turned to 1x. That means one time. That means you turned it around in a circle one time. You can also edit that value and say 3 times. So if you're just rotating without any keyframes, that really doesn't matter. But if you're animating, let's animate it real quick. And let's just rotate this 2 times. You can see it rotates in a full circle 360 degrees twice. There you go. If you hold down Control and you scrub, it gives you a little bit finer control. Not as fast, as you can see. This is holding down Control right here. If I let go of Control right now, you can see it goes faster. Holding Shift makes it go super fast. So that's the control for this little scrubber here. And turn off my keyframes. And I'm going to set this back to 0 so we can start fresh. Another way is to use the tool panels up here and the rotation tool up here. You can click on it, or oh, great, stupid video game updated. Got in my way. Yes, I like to play this plane fighting video game every once in a while, and it updates. It's actually not a stupid game, it's actually pretty cool. But back to the tutorial. You can use the rotation tool up here. It's not super precise, but you can get to a general area, and then if you really need to tune it, you can tune it down here in the rotation in your timeline panel. If you hold Shift when you're rotating, it'll snap to the nearest 90-degree angle. See that? Which is nice. The hotkey for rotation is W, and I guess the way to remember it is kind of stupid, but rotate. So W for rotate. It's very dumb, but it's the easiest thing I can remember, and it's kind of funny. But so if you have your pressing W, you can rotate. So let's go back, and I'm gonna go back to the arrow selection tool by pressing V. Now if you hold W, you can quickly go to your rotate, and then when you let go of it, it will switch back to the selection tool. So just like with the zoom, just like with the zoom. So if you hold Z, it'll quickly switch to the zoom. If you hold W, it'll quickly switch to the rotation, etc. Now, if you would like to increase rotation by increments of 1, you can press the plus. Have your layer selected and press the plus key, and it will rotate by increments of 1. And press the minus key to go back. If you hold Shift, it'll increase in increments of 10. As you can see down here, I kind of had my mouse over it a little bit, but at increments of 10 right now, and then that's holding Shift. and pressing while the layer is selected, pressing the plus will do it, and minus will do it by 1. If you mess up and get really out there with your rotations and it's been a while and you can't do any more undos, the quickest way to reset is to double click your rotation tool and it will go back to 0 down here. So we'll do that again. Set it at some random rotation there. Go up to the tools panel up here and double click the rotation tool. It goes back to 0 and resets itself. That's about it for the rotation tool. As I said before, it's a pretty easy tool. Pretty much all these transform tools are pretty basic and easy to remember, and you'll use them most often, more than most tools, so it's good to get a good handle on them, and just make sure you remember your hotkeys, and you'll be able to work quickly and efficiently. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Make sure you either leave a comment or like it or subscribe, because there's a lot more tutorials to come. So everybody have a good day. See you later.